Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, DJ Buckets here with another episode of Culture Shock. Hey, what's up? Sorry I started a few minutes late. I was trying to trying to fix some problems that I was having, but I'm here now. Hey, what's up, guys? Oh man, I don't have much. What I really wanted to do was 100 Gex actually released a new album recently. I haven't listened to all of it, but I've listened to one of the songs, Hollywood Baby. I was having some trouble getting it on the computer right now. I'll probably get it somewhere during the show, I hope. But yeah, new 100 Gex album, guys. That's kind of really cool. so oh man, I wish I could like talk more about it, but I haven't actually listened to. I've listened to like two or three songs from it. I really like Hollywood Baby, and that's the one that I'm probably gonna get for the radio show if I can. So if you guys don't hear that, it's because I couldn't get it. Sorry. For now though, I am going to start off the show with a song, a Porter Robinson song that I like a lot. Because you know how I am about my Porter Robinsons. So I'm gonna let you guys listen to one of my personal favorites from his album Nurture, Mirror. I don't know if I've actually played this one on the show before. It's very like I don't know. It's nice. I like the samples that he uses for it. I like the message of the song. It's fun. It's cool. I hope you guys enjoy it. Well, hey guys, what's up? It's me, DJ Buckets, and here we are. I already said it, but I'll say it again. Here we are with another episode of Culture Shock here on Vaquero Radio. Pretty interesting. You know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? There's this one. There's a type of game that I've never really had a huge group of people to like play it with, but I kind of like. I've been thinking about trying to get like way more into it recently, right? It's tabletop RPGs, which are a little thing. If you know what Dungeons and Dragons are, if you know what Dungeons and Dragons is, oh my god, I'm sorry. You know what a TTRPG is. It's one of those things where like it has a huge focus on, role playing with your friends, pretending to be a character, like doing stuff like imagining a whole setting and plot and all that in your head and doing like there's something so like cuz I've never had a group of people that I was like I feel like TTRPGs are something that you don't really get into by yourself. One thing that I've noticed is everyone that at least I know that I've talked to, most of them have groups of people that are also into TTRPGs, or they have someone that introduced them to it, or they were in a group and they all played and they were like a new member. I don't see a lot of people just pick one up and then just start playing it because it's like oh my god, excuse me, I had something in my throat. But it's one of those things where like you really need to be taught how to do it because if you actually want to do it, you have to actually have someone who's good at doing it, and you don't get good by doing it your first time. Like I mean, I guess you could if you were like, because one of the things that I realized is very important when it comes to like TTRPGs and stuff like that is like storytelling. You got to be if you want to actually host a pretty good event for something like that, you have to be really good at creating or maybe not creating a story, but at least visualizing a story in your head. Because one thing that always like the thing that interests me about those types of games is like the amount of freedom that you have to do pretty much whatever you want. You have the in-game mechanics that, depending on what you're playing, they're a bit loose or a little stricter, but pretty much the main focus is always going to be you can do whatever you want. You are a character in this world. Go crazy. You have a goal. You have a set of things that you want to get done. Go get them done. Interact with the world. Be interesting. Because the one that I've been trying to get into, or the one that I want to get into, and I want to try hosting it with my friends and stuff, is Monster of the Week. And Monster of the Week is one of those. If you've ever seen like what's it called? Like monster well it's in the name, Monster of the Week. If you've ever seen a show like Supernatural or X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, shows like that, that's kind of the whole premise of what the game is. You have your DM, I forgot what they call it. I think they call it the Keeper. Yeah, you got the Keeper, which is a person who like invents the story and everything. There's a monster, there's a mystery you gotta solve, and that's the whole thing. The thing that I like about it is like most TTRPGs are built to be played like over a long span of time, right? So if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you are not gonna sit down, play Dungeons and Dragons, and then finish in the next hour or two. I mean, I guess you could if you had like a really really short session with someone, but usually when people play that game, they're in for the long game, most of the time. So they're what's it called? Um, oh man, I just completely lost my train of thought. But they're in for the long thing. They have a huge arc they're going over. You're starting from nothing, and you're going to kill the dragon in the castle. You got to get through all these challenges. Like it's one of those things. Usually people don't just play it for a short period of time, which is a lot of commitment. You have to be like really invested in the group and the story you all are doing. But I like about Monster of the Week, not that I dislike that. I mean, that's cool. That's super cool. But personally, I like more like bite-sized chunks of things, and Monster of the Week is pretty much bite chunk-sized Dungeons and Dragons. You have a set of characters. There's no, I mean, there can be an overarching plot if you want to set that up, but it mainly focuses on here is the problem for the now. Here is a vampire who's terrorizing the town, or here's a demon that got unleashed and is hiding around the city and is trying to possess people, and you got to stop it. Or there's a ghost in someone's house, and if you don't stop it, then the ghost is gonna kill people, and then it's gonna be bad for the media. But essentially, it's just little stories like that, and to have it's cool, it's neat, and one thing that I really like that it does is it tries placing a huge focus on things like improv. Improv is one of the things that Monster of the Week really tries like hammering in, because the way that you set up the way that you host a game, right? Is you have an idea for a monster, okay, awesome, that is the monster of the week, and then there's like a set of things essentially, and it's like what you're planning isn't a game. What you're planning is a story with characters, and you're trying to see what'll happen if no one intervenes. So essentially, like the monster is gonna do this in the morning, and then later on, this is gonna happen. This building is gonna get surrounded in slime, and no one's gonna be able to go in or leave. The slime is gonna turn everyone into zombies, and then at the end, then the zombies get out, and then and then the whole town is destroyed because they got blah blah. That's what you're planning. You're trying to plan what happens if no one comes and fixes the situation. You are planning for the worst when you're trying to plan a game for this. And then you have the list of characters that'll show up in the thing, and then you just ask the people playing, like, hey, where do you want to start? What's going on right now? How do you guys want to get this started? So essentially, once you have the whole outline of like what's happening set out, then the player characters come and they just do whatever they want. That's kind of like the whole thing. Like you tell them things that are happening sometimes, but their goal is to kind of disrupt the vision that you had. It kind of encourages a lot of Oh my god, I'm sorry. I had a couple slices of pizza before coming here, and I guess it just wasn't good for my stomach. Cause wow, I feel, I feel a little strange right now. But that's one thing that I really like about it. It's just you have a thing. It just get creative, do cool things. Try making an interesting scenario for people to, or try getting into interesting scenarios. Try to see if you can make mundane actions not mundane and interesting and exciting. And it's just I really want to try hosting a game like that because that'd be fun. So that's something that I'm trying to get into. I highly recommend if you guys have friends that are like into TTRPGs like that, try them out. They're fun. It's really nice just trying to get into the mindset of like a fictional character, trying to living in a different world, I guess. I don't know if that's really the right way to put it, but it's interesting. It's nice. I actually had someone host a Monster of the Week game a couple months ago. It was one of my friends that I want to play with now. He was hosting a little event. It was like the main conflict was there was a thing called a weremuncher, and we were trying to figure out, okay, well, what is that? What's it doing? It was like in a warehouse. It was like eating things in the warehouse. If we didn't do anything, then it was gonna like destroy the place and then potentially cause more conflict to happen. So it was just a huge thing. There was like a final battle where we found it in the warehouse and we had to use everything in there to get it. And there was like rat poison we had to use to kill it so it couldn't hurt anyone. It was really interesting stuff. It's just cool, like putting yourself into the scenario in your mind and thinking like, okay, how can we collectively as a group overcome this issue? How can we solve this problem? And it wasn't anything too special. It was a very simple little scenario. It was it was the important thing is that it was fun, and that we as a friend group of like 4 or 5 people had a really good time doing it. And I don't know. This whole thing is really just me saying, hey, go play TTRPGs, man. They're super interesting, and I don't think there is an experience like that, besides just going outside and just you know just messing around with friends. But the whole thing that I like is that there's like systems to it. There's like a role set that you can follow. I don't know. It's neat. It's cool. I totally recommend if you all have friends into it. definitely give it a shot. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and play another song right now. I'm gonna be playing Stardust by Can of Bliss. What's up, guys? That was a lot of music. Anyways, I want to go back on. I want to go back on the topic of like tabletop RPGs that I was talking about earlier, because there's another one that I've kind of been hearing a lot about because of my friends. Because I have a friend who's like super. I have a friend that's super into the whole idea of like TTRPGs, role playing. She's a big writer. She's a big fan of playing characters, writing for characters, making up scenarios. She is super into that kind of stuff. It's actually really interesting hearing her talk about it because there's always so much like cool stuff that happens whenever she plays. There's one that she plays, which most of you might actually know from the video game that recently came out back in like I think it was 2020. I want to say it came out, but Cyberpunk 2077. I'm pretty sure the one she's playing is Cyberpunk Red, which I think actually happens in like 2044, I want to say, but I don't know too much about cyberpunk lore. I can't really say, but basically, Cyberpunk Red is a TTRPG that takes place in the cyberpunk universe. Of course, I don't remember how old it is, but it predates the game and the anime and stuff like that by a long time. But she's been playing it. It's such an interesting because one thing that I'm always told about it is like a lot of TTRPGs like focusing a lot on the mechanics of said game. Like they have like very in-depth systems with a lot of really cool weapons and equipments and stuff like that. One thing that I really like about Oh my god, excuse me. One thing that seems really interesting to me about Cyberpunk that I've been told is that the game is really what's the word? It's very style over substance when it comes to like how the game works, how certain equipment and how certain things interact with the world and with the. I unmuted my mic, right? Yes, I did. That would have been embarrassing if I didn't. But basically the whole thing is like so most of the equipment that you get or that the game kind of like shows you that you can like have and use, lots of it is very generic. Yeah, you have a gun, you have a sword, you have nunchucks or whatever. They're just like simple things. The thing that the game really expects you to do is to like put your own like spin on it. Do something interesting with it because it's a very cyberpunk. The universe of cyberpunk, from what I understand, a lot of this could be wrong to someone who really likes cyberpunk. I'm very sorry if any of you are listening right now because my knowledge of lore and stuff only comes from the anime and from what this girl has told me about her playthrough. But like one thing, cyberpunk is supposed to be a very high tech, very like everyone has like cybernetics. Everything is done with technology. Computers dominate pretty much the whole like lifestyle of people, and it's a very dystopian society. It's supposed to be very like, hey, Night City is not a good place. This place, if you don't, if you are low in like society, you are not going to make it. You are going to die a very the city doesn't like you is essentially what it like. It's hard to get money, it's hard to make a living. Terrible place to live. um so most people turn to just like no, another thing about it is apparently the police are very underfunded in the city too. It's supposed to be a very I think California is split into two states in this world. I don't remember exactly how or why, but basically somewhere in California, this city was created. It's supposed to be like technically not a part of California. It's supposed to be its own like yeah, they are in California. They have like but the laws of California don't exactly what's the word? I don't remember the specifics, but essentially, it's a city run by the people, is what it's supposed to be. They're not funded by any government. It's run by the market. It's run by people in the city and all of that, and they just don't want to fund the police. And as a result, there's almost no police force in Night City, and there are certain parts of the city that are very known to be like, hey, this is this place is basically run by gangs and criminals, like these areas of the city. Very fun. But I don't even remember what my initial point was. What? Oh, I got so sidetracked. How does this happen? That's completely unrelated to what I was saying. What I'm trying to get at is that oh man, how do I even segue back to what I was originally saying? I got like so caught off guard. completely forget what I was saying. It's a very interesting little world here, and like the whole thing is supposed to be like there are people who go and like they're edge runners. They do crime and stuff. They take bounties. They're funded by who knows what organizations, but like they go do stuff that normal people would never even dream of doing because that's dangerous. You're gonna get caught. So, you gotta make a living somehow. That's how it is. One interesting thing about the game, it's not about the world of the game because I probably just completely butchered everything about it. But one thing that I like about like with the equipment and stuff, like I said, they're all very generic, but they really expect you to put like your own little like spin on it. And the way that like my friend described it to me, like her character is supposed to be like very what's the word? Very so whenever you get like cybernetic implants or like stuff, pretty much anything like if you have any type of robot thing inside of you, there's a very big chance that eventually you're gonna like kind of they call it cyberpsychosis, which is basically like you go insane. It's pretty much you go insane. And so this her character is like very roboted up inside. They are not in the best mental state. There is a lot of things wrong with them in the head. Not very cool. So like the weird thing they have a gun that like every time a bullet leaves the chamber, it like speaks. She has it programmed to kind of like speak, which is it's really strange. It like affects like it's like a mind game type thing, to like scare the people she's like up against, like stuff like that. It's really interesting. I wish I could like remember she gave me like a huge write up on like all of her equipment she had and everything, but I don't know where it is because it's like hidden somewhere in all of our DMs. But it's cool. It's neat. I really like the concept a lot of just like going crazy with it's yours. It's your character. It's your equipment. It's make it the way you want it, make it do the things you want it to do, take the jobs that you want. It's really neat. I don't know, the whole concept of just the amount of player freedom and stuff like. I already commented on the player freedom thing, but it's just interesting. It's a lots of. I want to try playing that one. The thing that keeps me away from it though is the fact that it is way more complicated. The monster of the week is. It is a more of a long form game than what I'm usually used to because, like I said, I don't play a lot of them. I'm just very into the concept of them and would like to play more. But it's interesting. Oh man, I was gonna go on a tangent about something else. I don't even remember. Well, you know what? For now, I'm just gonna cut back to some music. I'll let you guys listen to a few more minutes of this, and then I'll get back to talking. I kind of want to talk about Cyberpunk now because I started actually watching the anime. I haven't played the game yet. I've heard the game is really good. I don't know if anyone can attest to that, but apparently, uh, I know it started off in a really bad state, so I was kind of like really turned off from it. Like I know a lot of other people I know were, but apparently in recent times they've like actually fixed the game up a lot, and apparently it's actually very playable and apparently good. And I've heard a lot of people that the story is also pretty good, which I kind of want to try it out. I don't know. I don't know if I'll end up finishing along like I'm pretty sure it's a whole like 60-hour video game or something. Will I finish it? Will I ever get to the end? Who knows? Probably not. I don't play games for very long. But I'll talk about that later. For now, I'll let you listen to Suki no Koibumi, another song by C418 that I again have played very often on this radio show. I want to listen to it again, so you're going to listen to it with me. So I hope you all enjoy it. There is one DJ set that I remember listening to that has been on my mind for a long time since Camp Boneyard 2, which was I don't remember if I talked about this, but there was some producer that I like, least favorite. She did a DJ set that was It consisted of 10 minutes of original remixes of Machine Gun Kelly's "Emo Girl," and it was one of the most. It was I don't I haven't been able to forget about it since listening to it because it was just 10 minutes of the same song. I mean, like it was different remixes of the same song, but like it was emo girl. I hate. I don't like Machine Gun Kelly. I don't think that's a very what's the word? I don't know. I don't like him very much. It was a very interesting experience just listening to it. It was just like I remember she like had a set of she talked about it like after she did the DJ set, but she had like a set of rules that was pretty much like for 10 minutes, don't let them forget that they're listening to a remix of Emo Girl. Like just and the only word she used for the entire like 10 minutes was just the chorus of the song. I fell in love with an emo girl. All I want is an emo girl. 10 minutes of just listening to that chorus over and over. It was an experience. It was like I don't know, something about it, like it came to my mind right now, and I like now it's like it's invaded my brain. I don't know what else to talk about anymore. Now I'm just thinking about Emo Girl by Machine Gun Kelly. This is this is awful. uh anyways, uh side tangent aside, Cyberpunk 2077. That's a game that I just talked about a few minutes ago. Or that's a thing, that's a series, a property, an IP that is a collection of things that I talked about. I don't know. I started watching the anime that was made for it, and I remember when it came out, like I wasn't really. I don't watch a lot of new shows that come out. I'm not really a TV guy. I kind of prefer to just listen to music, uh, just watch little videos that people make. I don't usually sit down to watch movies or to watch TV shows, but that same girl that I said was super into Cyberpunk, she was like, hey Buckets, want to watch Cyberpunk? Do you want to watch the Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime? And I was like, you know what? Like, I haven't talked. Because again, it was a friend that I haven't really talked to in like 2 years prior to like talking. Like, I started talking to her again pretty recently, so it was just like, hey, you know what? I haven't seen you in a bit. You want to watch the Cyberpunk anime? And I'm like, you know what, man? Let's do it. Sure, I want to watch it. And it was actually, I know I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I don't know. I didn't expect it to be bad, but like when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is kind of like really good. I don't know if you guys have seen it or heard about it, but like if you guys want to watch a pretty good TV show, go check out Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It is kind of fantastic, and apparently, from what I've been told, it's like it's very true. So the game doesn't, or the TV show is less inspired by the tabletop RPG, and it's more almost directly inspired by the game that came out around the same time frame, which is cool. So like a lot of the areas in the anime, they're all very like what's it called? A lot of the locations, a lot of the things they do, they're all things that are kind of like tied directly into stuff that happens in the game, which is really interesting. Apparently, the anime takes place like a year or two before the game ever happens, but like it's interesting, especially if you've like played the game before actually going into the show. It's like there's gonna be a lot of places you recognize, a lot of things that seem like super familiar because a lot of it is just directly from the Cyberpunk game, and it's cool, it's neat. And one thing that I really like that I wish I could showcase right here, but I don't have the song. I didn't think about getting it before this radio show, which oh well, I have it for next time. But it's one of the main songs. Well, I wouldn't say one of the main songs for the anime, but it's a song that is really good. It's called "I Really Want to Stay at Your House" by I don't remember who the artist is, but it is very good song, very fun. And I didn't know this, but apparently they took that song directly from the Cyberpunk game, as with most of the other music that happens in the anime. Like they managed to take a bunch of these songs from the game and just like make them fit perfectly. Like, I really do mean they fit perfectly into the context of the show. There's especially one that I can't really talk about because it's kind of a huge spoiler for a really pivotal moment of the show. Like, I would love to talk about it because it was good. It was one of the episodes that kind of made me just like I watched it and it was like wow, like this is hard to watch. This is so sad. No, but I don't know. The music is really good from the Cyberpunk thing. You guys should totally check it out. It's Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a fantastic show. That's pretty much where I'm trying to get at right now. Just like if you ever get the chance to like, or if you ever feel like just watching an anime or watching something that you haven't like that you don't know too much about, or like you kind of want to get into the whole. From what I've heard, it's a really good way to get into the whole universe of Cyberpunk because it kind of lays out a lot of it for you. It makes it seem really it shows you all the important bits of the universe, all the social inequality that happens with the lower and the higher class citizens, a lot of the problems that arise just from living in Night City, all the things that people usually see, all the problems that go down with the underfunded police force, with lots of the people just going insane, or people who like are very strong people going insane, I guess I should say. Like it starts off with some like ex-military guy who gets cyber psychosis, completely just like decimates like a whole like it's crazy. It's interesting. It's fun. You should all watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. um Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and play. I'll play like probably one more song before I come back. We don't have too much time left. It's almost gonna be. I think I got like 6 minutes left. I'm gonna go ahead and play this song because I like it. So here we go. We're gonna play another underscore song. I hope you guys enjoy it. And that looks like this is pretty much all the time that I have for today. So you know what? Thank you guys so much for showing up to another episode of Culture Shock. It's always fun, nice to be here. And I guess before I leave you, I'm gonna leave you guys off with one more song because I don't know. I usually like leaving with a song instead of me just saying bye because I feel like I like the music a bit more. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll be here again next week probably. And for now, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys with "Prima Donna" by Marina and the Diamonds, which is a song that I really enjoy. So yeah, I guess well, I'll see you guys next week. This will be my final song for tonight, and I guess yeah. Have a good night, guys. Bye. Thank you.